Alrighty, welcome to week 2 in CIT28, what I like to call Intro to SQL. So we are actually in the RL in my real world. Okay, we're in day 3 of the semester, and as I always try to do, I try to publish at least a week ahead. And for this first week of the semester, it's a little challenging. There's a lot to do. Oh boy, I suspect you all feel even more overwhelmed. And I've been doing this a while and I feel overwhelmed. So, that's just the nature of what we all get to do. So I'm glad you're here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go over. So there's going to end up being 2 videos for this attendance. And remember, attendance is graded. You actually get graded for the work that you do here. Okay. So the first thing is just kind of an overview, we're going to do your first queries, and you're going to learn a new workflow. So you already have learned the get workflow, and now we're going to add a new workflow, which is your proof of work. Okay, and basically this is your proof that your queries actually work. So in this process, I'm not going to go through it here. There'll be a different video for that. You'll actually learn how to write queries and then see the output. And once you get good output, you'll do the proof of work. Okay. But before we get there, there's a couple of just class housekeeping topics I want to make sure we've talked about. So we have a great tutor for this class. Her name's Brianna, and she is awesome. I'm so excited. This is our first semester working together. She's taken my classes. She's taken CIT93, which is JavaScript, and she's taken CIT28, and she did amazing. And she's just going to be a great asset to all of us, okay? So I will have her schedule, maybe even by the time you get here, because I'm again recording early, and I know she's hoping to get me that soon. Now, just a word about GitHub CodeSpace, because most of you I've noticed are using CodeSpace. Yes, it is limited to 120 hours, right? And if you're taking some of my other classes, again, I don't recommend taking CIT28 and CIT93 at the same time. Some of you are choosing to, which is, fine, that's your choice. Come talk to me if you need help. It's really a good topic, actually. So if you want to check your usage, which I've only had a few students go over 120 hours, okay? But if you want to check it, here's a link to Google telling you where to go find that, right? And how to get more hours, you can go through the verification process, and that's listed here to show you how to do that. So upgrade it to 180. I found out today it wasn't 160, it's 180. A word about Discord. So the thing about Discord I want you to understand, and I said this on Discord. So first I'd like to say this. I'd like to encourage as many of you that would possibly be interested to join the Discord. I don't make it required. But the more of a community we have on Discord, the more likely you're going to get support. Okay. So, it is to all of our benefits to have as many of us on Discord as possible. Now, I will be on at times, like today, right before my office hour, I posted something saying, hey, office hours are open. I gave the Zoom link. I won't always do that, but at the beginning I will, right? But, that's in order just to give you the heads up. The best way to get support from me is obviously to come to my office hours. Now, if you need help outside of that, you can also look at Brianna's hours. And then if outside of that and it's late at night, because I'm not a late at night gal. I'm an up early. Like this morning, I was up at 4:30. I was at the gym by 5:30. I sat down and worked all day, and now I'm at 4:30. And once I finish this, I'm done for the day after I ride my bike. So I ride a bike everywhere. I love riding bikes. So anyway, enough about me. For Discord, I want you to know this is intended for student-to-student communication, right? And it's not intended for me and you to have a conversation. And that's why I say try to resist the natural inclination or the natural thing to ping me like at Rio. Don't do that. Okay, if you're going to do that, email me into Canvas, because that's a better way to get to me than actually on Discord. Now, if I happen to be available and I have Discord open, I will answer. But don't count on that. Remember, student to student. Now, Brianna might be on there sometimes as well, but even her, I've tried to make her and help her understand is that, she has hours that she is available, and she may at some time reply, but don't expect that as well, because it's really for you to support each other. Okay. Now, the thing, and let peers help first. That's the idea. Don't at me. Keep it public. I do not accept, nor will she accept, direct messages from folks. And the reason is, honestly, there's more than one, but we are mandated by the campus to keep communications are individual on a system that the campus has. This is for public consumption of everyone on the Discord server. That's why I can run it there. Actually, the campus wasn't completely thrilled I did this, and now more people are doing it, so we're all getting away with it. But I want you to understand we are mandated, okay? So now, at this point, you're going to have a video that I just recorded a minute ago, which, by the way, speaking of which, I still have my code space open. So one thing I would do is come down here and I would stop my code space. Now, why would I do that? I would do that because it will then shut off that hours that are ticking, right? So I'm going to wait for it to stop. That's just good hygiene around code space, okay? So, but I just recorded this video. I actually ended up recording it first, and now this one is second. But for you, you're watching this one first. So the thing you're going to do, right? Step one is you're going to watch this video. And then what you're going to do, and I'm going to walk you through how to walk through the querying part 2. So the querying part 2 is your attendance work. Now, by the way, it's 50 points of this attendance work, right? Now, what you'll do, and I walk through this with the student in that video, right? And I realized one thing I did is I ended up doing a commit after this. And actually, I should show you. Did I do a git push? Let's actually see if I did a git push here. I think I did. And so if I go into querying, I can go into my history, right? And I can see I did, I did attendance queries MPO. Then that's okay. You can either use that commit, or you can use the commit I put in here, setup. Either one is fine, okay? And then you'll work through this. And again, I covered that in the video, so I'm not going to really cover it here. Okay, that's important. So what will happen now is the way I will grade for that 50 points is I will look at your commits and your SQLs and your proof of work and see if you actually got all that in there. Okay. Now, and then in this, you don't have to in your reply, but you totally can post in your reply here a discussion, a question or comment, like, was there something you wanted clarified through that, right? Or was there just anything? But I think most of that's going to be handled by step 3, okay? So now I really enjoyed reading everyone's post about the AI. Here's the deal. I think it's just natural for you to probably say, because I kind of framed it that way, that using AI to actually do your work is not a good idea because of the technical interview. But also let's talk about the good uses. And I'm going to show you what I think is a good use today of this, right? So for this, I should be Gen AI, but for this task, you'll use whatever model you want. I don't care, right? I have no, and actually it's kind of interesting. I did this with 2 different ones, and I got 2 different answers, 2 different prompts, but I didn't ask it questions. And you're like, Rhea, what are you talking about? So let me slow down and tell you. So use this prompt. Now, you're going to see some of this content, right, in this video and actually in this link. So don't do this step, okay? Don't do this step until you have completed this part 2. Okay, so do that step first, because your questions you're going to ask of the prompt are going to be informed by doing the work. Okay. So once you do part 2 and you complete it, you do all your Git workflows, but you do all the required work, right? Then what you're going to do is copy and paste this whole, and I ended up putting all the things that the Git workflows, and I thought actually I could have done the other one where we copied the database, but okay, right? And then I did this really quickly. By the way, if you want to make this prompt better, you could do that, right, as well, but just use it first, right? So what you're going to do is make your post, right? So first you're going to copy the prompt and you're going to paste it into whatever your favorite Gen AI is, and then ask it at least 3 questions about Git and or the workflow, because it has both the Git commands and the workflow. So you have both of these in here, and just ask for maybe again, think about what you'd want to understand, because I covered it at a certain level, and what you want to do is take that and extend your knowledge, right? So now, once you've asked it like 3 questions, right, in the discussion, create a post and include the question that you think would be helpful to other students. Don't give us the answer because the question that you did actually is something we could go in and do ourselves. Okay, so don't give us the answer. Now, it might be interesting to do that. The only way I would say do that is if you want to end up sharing your output. But like, what do I mean by that? Like, I went over here to Gemini and I put this in, right? Actually, this is where I created it. Yeah, actually, this is where I created it. Oh, actually, no, it's the wrong one. That's actually where I had it help me do. Yeah, so actually, this is it. No, that's not it either. Here it is. Okay, so this is it. So I pasted in that prompt, right? And I understand my role because I gave it a role, right? And I said, I'm ready to here to help. Blah blah blah, right? I've reviewed the workflow you've described, and I love this part, right? It's clever. Okay, now it's a clever way to create a log of your work, right? Blah blah blah, and it tells you. So now you can ask a question. So I used also ChatGPT, and I copied it in there. It said something different. Now, by the way, it ended up turning up 5.0 for me. But my point of being here is that you can also, with these prompts, you can share the output. So don't copy and paste the AI's answer. But if you feel like it was interesting, right, you could share a link. But what you have to do to get the points is you have to post, right? Yeah, here's the don't give us the AI output. Just post a question you ask and you feel like would provide good discussion. So include, I think I said 2 here. If I didn't, I'll make sure I do that because I want you to like ask at least 3 questions, but choose, right? Choose good 2 of your best that you think would help that discussion. Okay, and I'm going to put 2 there. Okay, don't yeah, I already said this. You can share, I didn't put this here, you can share link. Now, reply to appear. Now, in this case, last week, in the welcome and everybody, right, saying hello and replying, you had to do 2. I'm only going to make you do 1 this week because I get how these are kind of like, I think they're important, but also I want you to focus on other stuff. But 1, I think, is enough. Okay. So find a classmate. And here's the deal. If somebody already has a reply, find somebody else to reply. It's just better, right? Creates a better discussion, right? And then know this. Here's the thing I'll leave you with besides, what you want to do, a substantive reply, right? If you just put 1 sentence, I'm going to say, hey, not quite substantive, right? By asking a follow-up, offering an alternative, right? Or explaining how their post helped you, right? But here's the thing I want you to know. I'm going to reply to early posters just because once the flood comes in, it's hard for me to do them all. But just know if you like my response publicly, get in early, right? And then I will try to, as the semester goes along, maybe later, I'll actually go to a different time frame to do certain replies. All right, so there's just copy and paste this, take it over to your favorite search engine. You could tell us in your post which one you use. It might be interesting, actually, to see what that is. Okay. Now, all right, one more thing. I'm going to also, all right, so I think I'm going to also do this. We have querying part 3. So this is actually also due this night. And this one I actually also posted, right? So this is just now we're doing more, right? So we're going to do more setup. And actually I have a video from last semester going through this, okay? So I think I'm just going to keep this here and go ahead and publish both of these. But one thing I added that I didn't talk about in that video, I wanted to talk about here, and this is for the part 3, is that I've given you what's called a heads up or an optional break. So because the attendance post quite involved this week, and you need to do the part 3 as well, if you get all the way through this commit message, then you can take a break, okay? And then finish it up by Thursday. Thursday will be when the review's done. I'll actually be working on those next. Brianna and I are actually working on those together, right? So then what you could do is stop and complete it by Thursday night for grading on Friday. But what you can do is if you do take this, give me your commit history now in Canvas, okay? And then what I will do is I actually will just do a quick look at your work to see if there's anything I'd point out to you that you might want to fix before you finish up. Okay, so again, just know this video is from last semester, and it might include some things I actually, because I'm recording this new, this semester may have talked about there. I almost didn't want to do it, but I thought, no, it actually contains some good content, except that it doesn't contain the optional break once you get to that point. So what you would do is submit your commit history if you were going to stop, if you were going to do all the thing, cool. And then I will review it and give you feedback. And then I'm going to work on the AI review, your first one for this class, next. And probably by the time you get here, it should be available, but I'll have a short video for that. All right. Thanks so much. I'm glad you're here. Thanks so much. Without you, I have no job, and I love my job. So thanks for that. And have a great rest of your day. Oh, wait a minute. Wrong one.